Welcome to Daily Stoic Practice, your compass to navigate the complexities of modern life with ancient wisdom. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you gave your all in a relationship, your time, your energy, your heart? You listened, you cared, you even gave up little dreams of your own just to make the other person happy. And in return, what did you get? Unanswered messages? Canceled plans? Or maybe even the sinking feeling that you're trying too hard while the other person isn't trying at all? I've been there. That heavy, gut-wrenching feeling, sitting alone wondering, did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? Those thoughts play on a loop, and the more you dwell on them, the heavier they become. But pause for a moment. Here's the truth. When someone doesn't value you, it's not because you didn't do enough. It's because of how they choose to treat you. Actions, as they say, speak louder than words. Before you blame them, or worse, blame yourself, you need to recognize something important. Your value doesn't depend on how others see you. The real question isn't, how do I make them appreciate me? But rather, how do I recognize when they don't? And what do I do about it? And this is where Stoicism comes in. You might have heard about it, or maybe this is your first introduction. Either way, let me tell you this. Stoicism isn't some abstract, lofty philosophy meant only for scholars. It's practical, it's powerful. It's a tool to help you navigate life's toughest challenges. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That one quote changed the way I see myself and the world. It reminded me that no matter what someone else does, whether they ignore me or take me for granted, I still have my power as long as I can control my thoughts and emotions. So today, I want to share with you 4 clear signs that a woman doesn't value you. These signs can be subtle, easy to miss, or even things you've noticed but made excuses for because you didn't want to face the truth. Let's walk through each sign, unpack what it means, and most importantly, talk about how you can apply the principles of Stoicism to deal with them. Remember, your value doesn't come from how others treat you. It comes from your calm mind, your steady actions, and your ability to master yourself. So are you ready to reclaim your inner strength? Let's dive in and find the freedom that comes from living true to your worth. The first sign, she never makes time for you. Think about this. Time. It's one of the most precious gifts we can give to each other. Everyone gets the same 24 hours a day, no matter who they are or how busy their schedule might seem. And when someone truly values you, they'll find a way to carve out time for you, no matter the circumstances. But if she's constantly saying, "I'm busy," or "not today, maybe another time," then it's time to take a step back and reflect. Sure, everyone has busy days. Work, family, friends, these all demand attention. But let's be honest with ourselves here. If she's always too busy to meet up, if plans are always getting canceled at the last minute, or if your invitations seem to just hang in limbo, then the truth might be that she simply doesn't prioritize you. Let me flip the question around for a second. Think about someone you care about deeply. What do? You make time for them, right? Whether it's 10 minutes, half an hour, or just a quick text at the end of a hectic day to say, "I'm so busy, but I wanted to check in. I miss you." These small actions speak volumes. They say, "You matter to me." But what if you don't see those actions from her? Now, let's talk about this busy excuse. How busy is she, really? Too busy for a quick text. Too busy to follow through on plans you've already made. At some point, you've got to ask yourself, is she truly overwhelmed? Or are you just an option she keeps around for when there's nothing better going on? This brings me to a lesson from Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a philosopher. He was the ruler of one of history's most powerful empires. His responsibilities were enormous, commanding armies, managing the government, handling crises. And yet, in his private writings, he constantly reminded himself to make time for what truly mattered. He once wrote, "Remember, your time is limited. Don't waste it on things that don't matter." If a man like Marcus Aurelius, with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, could make time to reflect, to write, and to live by his values, then ask yourself this: why is it that someone else can't make time for you? Here's the question you need to ask yourself. Who are you in her life? Are you a genuine part of her world, or are you just someone she keeps on the sidelines? Someone she remembers only when there's nothing better to do? This isn't an easy question to face. It can be painful. But here's what you need to understand. If she truly values you, she'll make you a priority. It's that simple. When a woman truly wants you to be a significant part of her life, you won't have to fight for her attention. You won't have to bend over backward to arrange things, only to be met with vague excuses or last-minute cancellations. Instead, she'll text you to check in, even during her busiest days. Proactively arrange time to see you, not just when it's convenient, but because she genuinely wants to. Share her schedule with you so you can figure out what works for both of you. And let me be clear about this. Don't make excuses for her. It's easy to fall into the trap of justifying someone else's behavior. She really is busy. She's going through a lot. I should be more understanding. Those things can be true, but they're only valid when they happen occasionally, not as a recurring pattern. If these excuses become the norm, it's a sign of a deeper problem. Remember, everyone is busy. But when someone genuinely wants you in their life, they'll find a way, not an excuse. Here's my message to you. Don't waste your time on a one-sided relationship. Your time is just as valuable as anyone else's. If she can't or won't make time for you, maybe it's time to step back and ask yourself, am I placing my expectations on someone who doesn't truly care? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, do not let your soul be distracted by things beyond your control. Focus on what truly matters. And what truly matters is this: you are deserving of someone who prioritizes you and values your time. If she can't, then it's okay to walk away and look for a connection where your time is genuinely appreciated. Second sign, your efforts are ignored. Take a moment and think about this. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into making someone happy, only to be met with indifference, or worse, criticism? You wake up early to surprise her with breakfast, hoping to see her smile. You plan a weekend getaway, putting thought into every detail to help you both relax. You try to learn what she loves, what makes her happy, and you go out of your way to make it happen. And then, what happens? She responds with a half-hearted nod, a dry thanks, or maybe even a complaint like, "Why did you do it this way? It's not what I wanted." Doesn't that hurt? Your efforts are more than just actions. They're an expression of your love, your care, and the value you place on the relationship. But if those efforts are ignored or dismissed, you have to stop and ask yourself, is this person truly deserving of everything I'm giving? Here's what I want you to understand. Your efforts are a reflection of sincerity in any relationship. We've all heard the saying, actions speak louder than words. And it's true. When you go out of your way for someone, you're essentially saying, you matter to me. But if she doesn't appreciate what you're doing, then what? Imagine spending hours preparing a meaningful birthday gift, only to get a dismissive, "Oh, okay." Or helping her out with something important, only for her to criticize you for not doing it the right way. In moments like that, do you feel invisible? Here's the reality. When someone truly values you, they'll never take your efforts for granted. Big or small, they'll see the thought, the care and the love behind it. And gratitude, that's the ultimate measure of respect. Cicero, one of the greatest thinkers of ancient Rome, once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all the others." Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you. It's about recognizing and respecting what others do for us. A woman who truly values you will not only be grateful, but she'll try to reciprocate. If she never shows gratitude, never acknowledges your efforts, that's not a minor issue. That's a clear sign of disrespect. And respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. So here's my message to you. Don't hurt yourself by trying harder for someone who doesn't appreciate you. This is where many people go wrong. When their efforts are overlooked, they think they need to do more. Does this sound familiar? Maybe she didn't get it. I'll try harder next time. Maybe I'm not good enough. Let me give it another shot. But here's the truth. If someone doesn't appreciate what you're doing from the beginning, trying harder won't change that. Instead, it'll leave you feeling more exhausted, more hurt, and more uncertain of your own worth. Don't listen to what she says. Pay attention to what she does. When someone truly values you, you don't need to guess. You'll feel it in how they respond to your efforts. She'll smile, even if it wasn't perfect. She'll say thank you and mean it. She'll try to give back, not because she has to, but because she wants to see you happy too. But if none of this is happening, you need to face the truth. This might be a one-sided relationship, and you deserve so much better. Here's what Stoicism has to say about this. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Remember, you cannot control how others act, but you can always control how you respond." Don't let someone's indifference make you question your worth. Focus on what you can control. Yourself, your energy, your time, your love. These should go to people who truly value them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic, also wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, live according to your values, and make sure your efforts are directed at the right people, those who recognize and appreciate what you bring to the table. Let me sum it up. You don't need to prove your worth by trying harder for someone who doesn't see it. Your efforts are a testament to your care and love, and they should only go to those who deserve them. And remember, if she doesn't value what you're doing now, maybe it's time to step back and ask yourself, is this relationship truly worth all my effort? You deserve to be appreciated, and if that's not happening, it's okay to walk away. Because sometimes, the best way to respect yourself is to stop trying so hard for someone who doesn't respect you. Third sign. She doesn't support or encourage you. Picture this. You've got an amazing idea. Maybe it's a business plan you've been dreaming about for years. You've spent countless hours researching, strategizing, and getting every detail in place. Finally, you're ready to share it with the most important person in your life, the woman you love. But instead of getting the excitement you hoped for, instead of seeing her eyes light up, or even hearing a few curious questions, all you get is a shrug. Maybe even worse. You think you can pull that off? That doesn't sound realistic at all. That moment, it's like a bucket of cold water being thrown over your dreams. Her indifference, or those cutting words, don't just hurt. They make you doubt yourself. You start to wonder, am I being too ambitious? Is my idea really that stupid? And the worst thing that can happen, you start giving up on your dream altogether. These seemingly small moments, they leave a huge mark. When a woman doesn't show interest in your goals, your dreams, or your accomplishments, it's not just a lack of support. It's a loud, unspoken message. She doesn't believe in you. Now, I want you to pause and think about this. Your dreams and goals, they're a big part of who you are. When you share them with someone, you're not just looking for approval. You're showing them a core part of yourself, something you hope they'll value as much as you do. But if her response is indifference, or worse, outright dismissal, it means she's not ready to stand beside you on this journey, and that's something you can't ignore. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. Jordan is a software engineer. For years, he dreamed of starting his own tech company. After gaining plenty of experience, he decided it was time to take the leap. One evening, he sat down with his girlfriend and shared his vision. He was so excited, painting this picture of a product he believed could change the game. And you know what she said? "That sounds complicated. Why don't you just stick to your stable job? Taking a risk like this, is it really worth it?" She didn't say it in anger, and maybe she didn't even mean to discourage him. But to Jordan, it was like the wind had been knocked out of him. The excitement he'd felt just moments earlier was gone. He kept going, but her lack of support left a scar. It made his journey that much harder. So let's ask, why is support so important in a relationship? Think about your ideal relationship. It's not just about being partners. It's about being teammates. Two people who not only love each other, but also cheer each other on, even when the road gets tough. When you're facing challenges, your partner shouldn't just stand on the sidelines. They should be the one saying, "You've got this. I believe in you." They should be listening, offering advice, or just being there when you need them most. But if the woman by your side doesn't care about your goals, doesn't encourage you, it's like walking a long, hard road without someone to help carry the weight. That kind of relationship doesn't just drain your emotions. It drains your spirit. There's a piece of wisdom from Seneca I want to share with you. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It's not because things are difficult that we dare not do them, but because we dare not do them that they are difficult." Achieving big goals is already hard enough, but when the person closest to you doesn't have your back, that makes it 10 times harder. So here's what you need to remember. Don't let anyone's indifference shake your belief in yourself. Your dream is your own, and you are the only one responsible for making it a reality. Here's my advice. Stay confident in your goals. If you notice that the woman in your life isn't interested in your dreams or isn't willing to support you, what should you do? First, ask yourself, am I expecting too much from her? Sometimes independence is necessary to keep you grounded on your journey. But if her lack of interest isn't just occasional, if it's a pattern, you might need to reevaluate the relationship. Someone who truly deserves to stand beside you won't just watch from afar while you fight through challenges. They'll be there with you, or at the very least, cheering you on. And always remember, everything starts with you. Whether someone supports you or not, your real strength comes from within. Like Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If she doesn't believe in you, that doesn't mean you should stop believing in yourself. You're the only one who knows how important your dreams are, and you're the only one who can make them happen. To wrap this up, support and encouragement are vital in any healthy relationship. If you feel like the woman in your life doesn't care or won't encourage you, don't let that hold you back. Instead, look inward. Protect your dreams. Keep moving forward, not to prove something to her, but to prove to yourself that you can. And remember, you deserve a relationship where both people grow and move forward together. If you can't find that in your current relationship, don't be afraid to look elsewhere. Somewhere out there, there's someone who will welcome and celebrate your dreams. Fourth sign, she constantly criticizes you and diminishes your worth. Think back to those moments when you're sitting with her, excited to share a little joy about your work or a hobby you love. But instead of getting support, what do you hear? Maybe you should pay more attention to how you dress. You look nothing like my friends' partners. Your job doesn't sound like it has much of a future. I don't get why you're still doing it. Why are you still into that hobby? Isn't it a bit childish? Hearing these words over and over again doesn't just hurt. It chips away at you. It makes you feel small. And the worst part? If it happens often enough, you start believing what she says. You start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe she's right. When criticism becomes the language of your relationship, it changes everything. Now criticism, whether it's big or small, leaves scars. When it comes from someone you love, it cuts even deeper. This kind of criticism can take many forms. Comments about your appearance that make you feel insecure. Remarks about your job that leave you questioning your career. Dismissive attitudes toward your hobbies or passions, making them feel pointless. And when these things happen repeatedly, they don't just hurt your feelings. They erode your self-esteem. You start doubting your worth, losing confidence in who you are. And eventually, you box yourself into a relationship that drains you. Let me share a real example to show what I mean. I have a friend named Oliver. He's passionate about photography. On weekends, he'd grab his camera and head out to capture landscapes. It was his way of relaxing, reconnecting with himself. But his girlfriend didn't see it that way. Every time Oliver talked about his photos, she'd say things like, "You're too old to still be dreaming like this. Does this hobby even make you any money?" At first, Oliver tried explaining how much photography meant to him. But after hearing her dismissive comments time and time again, he gave up. His camera started gathering dust on the shelf. That passion he once had, it faded. But here's the saddest part. It wasn't just his photography that Oliver lost. He started believing her words, that he wasn't good enough, that nothing he did really mattered. So let's talk about why criticism like this is so toxic in a relationship. Criticism isn't just about the words being said. It's about what those words take away from you. It's about someone refusing to see your value. A healthy relationship isn't a place where you're judged or torn down. It's a place where you're lifted up, supported, even when you're not perfect. If she's constantly criticizing you, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because she refuses to see your worth. Now, there's a powerful lesson from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus that I want to share with you. He said, "No one can harm you unless you allow it." What does this mean? You can't control the negative words someone else chooses to say, but you can control how you react to them. When she criticizes you, here's what I want you to do. Step 1. Don't automatically accept that her words define you. Step 2. Ask yourself, are her comments true? Or are they just a reflection of her own emotions or frustrations? Step 3. Most importantly, remember that your worth isn't based on how she sees you. It's based on how you see yourself. You need to build your self-worth from the inside. Don't let negative words take that away from you. Here are a few ways to protect your self-esteem. First, recognize your accomplishments. Don't let anyone make you forget what you've achieved. Write down your successes, big or small, and remind yourself that you have value. Second, stop seeking validation from others. Confidence comes from within, not from someone else's approval. Third, focus on what you love. Even if she doesn't support you, keep doing what brings you joy. So, when should you take action? If the criticism isn't just occasional, but has become a pattern in your relationship, ask yourself, do I feel respected in this relationship? Will she be willing to change if I open up about how I feel? If the answer to these questions is no, it might be time to take a step back and reevaluate your relationship. Here's the truth. You deserve respect. A relationship should be a space where you grow, where you're supported, and where you feel loved. If she's constantly criticizing you and making you feel small, that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to protect yourself, to guard your self-esteem and your sense of worth. Remember, you don't have to change who you are to please someone who refuses to see your value. As Marcus Aurelius said, simply live true to your nature. Don't let external events disturb you. You deserve someone who sees the real you, someone who appreciates your worth, even when you're not perfect. But more than anything, you deserve respect. From others, yes, but especially from yourself. So, we've just gone through the 4 major signs that show when a woman doesn't truly value you. Let's take a moment to recap this journey together. The first sign: she never makes time for you. Time is the most precious gift, and if someone isn't willing to give you their time, it's a clear indication that you're not a priority in their life. Second sign: your efforts go unnoticed. When someone doesn't appreciate what you do, it's worth asking yourself if your genuine kindness is being wasted on a relationship that's one-sided. Third sign: she doesn't support or encourage you. A true partner will stand by your goals and dreams, not make you question your abilities or doubt yourself. Fourth sign: she constantly criticizes you and diminishes your worth. Negative words don't just hurt, they can erode your self-esteem and confidence if you let them. Now here's my final message to you. These signs aren't just red flags about someone else's behavior. They're also opportunities for you to reflect on yourself. As Stoicism teaches us, your worth isn't determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself. If you realize that you're in a relationship where these signs are present, have the courage to step back. Not to punish the other person, but to protect your own value. You can't control how someone else treats you, but you can control how you respond and the choices you make moving forward. Ask yourself, am I living true to my own values? Do I deserve a relationship where I'm respected and loved? The answer is always yes, and you absolutely have the right to pursue that kind of relationship. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt unappreciated? How did you overcome it? Share your story in the comments below, not just to share, but to help others who might be going through something similar. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe to Daily Stoic Practice and share your insights in the comments. Your thoughts may inspire others on their own journeys to inner peace and resilience. Don't miss our daily videos, insightful discussions, and practical tips for applying Stoic principles to your modern life.